welcome to Storylines and Theories. I'm LR, and this week we're going to review the new Mummy movie and the start of the Universal's new Dark Universe, which unfortunately does not look very bright. Join me next on Storylines and Theories. Hello, this is LR, and welcome to Storylines and Theories. This week we're going to talk about The Mummy, the new Mummy movie that just came out. I saw it yesterday, and this is my personal review and about the storyline of the movies and theories about the Dark Universe going forward. I must say I was really excited to see this movie, to see what direction they're going to take this Dark Universe of classic 50 monsters, and how are they going to meld this into some kind of combined shared universe in modern day. I left a little underwhelmed, so to speak. I was really, I was really disappointed, so to speak, as not only the storyline let me down, but the creature themselves. And this is a spoiler review, so if you've not seen the movie yet, watch this after you go see The Mummy, or you can just listen to my review and decide if you want to see it or not. I will say this: it is worth seeing. It's an okay movie. I would give it a C overall if I had to grade it right now, but it's an okay movie. But not the kind of movie I think you needed to develop to start off this universe. You needed something very strong. Now, from the beginning, I felt The Mummy was the wrong movie to start off with. I did not like The Mummy being the first movie. I thought they possibly could have done Frankenstein or either Dr. Jekyll himself as the main movie to start off the universe. But they started off with The Mummy, and unfortunately, they ran into some issues. First, the storyline itself was very confusing. They had her be kind of a demon before she was even mummified. Well, if that was the case, then how were they got those people going to take her down to begin with? They used darts. And I'm thinking, okay, darts on this possessed or demonic person. Okay, fine. So be it, darts. Mummified her. Okay, and then they sealed her away. I did like the fact of how they mixed the tomb into modern day Mesopotamia, being Iraq, and how they found it via missile strike. That was pretty cool, and the prison was cool, how they set it up and everything. But besides that, I didn't think, there was definitely a horror film. This was a horror film. I mean, it was aspects that were, jumpy and try to make you jump and scare you and everything, but it was not much of an adventure film, which maybe it's not supposed to be. The 1999 Mummy was more of an adventure film, and I have to say I had a better time watching that Mummy than I did this Mummy. So I guess that Mummy movie in 1999 is this Mummy's daddy, something like that. Anyway, so the movie takes off, and it has a storyline of finding this dagger to bring out Seth. Now, who is Seth? Is a god, so I don't know. Was this some kind of demon she was kind of resurrected? And if that was the case, then she definitely was not going to be the most powerful person in there. So she's trying to, resurrect this god, and she picks Tom Cruise character to be the vessel for him. And it's sort of almost like a Alien 3 situation where the alien can't kill Ridley because she's carrying the queen. So Ridley can, taunt the alien, do whatever she wants, get in his face. She knows he cannot kill her. The alien knows that she can't kill Ridley. So it's the kind of same thing here where he knows that she can't kill him. Now, she could beat the hell out of him, which she did. But if that's the case, go after her a little more with weapons and grenades. I mean, you're supposedly a military guy. I was expecting to see more of a kind of a better fight than just, the kind of fight he put up. And did he have some kind of powers, being the vessel as well? I don't know. He was cursed. So apparently he had died and came back. And so she's pursuing him, and as she's pursuing him, she's like, trying to track him down and developing like other mummies who look more like zombies to me. I mean, that's another thing too. The people she was, taking over to get their power, they look more like zombies. They don't look like mummies, and they weren't like her legions. I guess she called them legions, but they were just more like zombies. I thought I was watching The Walking Dead for a little bit. And I wasn't overwhelmed with her powers. I mean, really, okay, she has, I guess, super strength. Okay. She can disappear and reappear, I suppose. And she can control sand to do what? I don't know what. I mean, Obviously, they took that scene from the 1999 version of The Mummy, and it was much better done back then. But this one was okay. She made a big sandstorm. All right, or is it supposed to do something? I didn't. It just went to the city and showed her face. It wasn't trying to grab anyone. You know, it was very weird, so to speak. But the visual effects was cool, so maybe that's what it was going for. But again, kind of dragged on a little bit, and the whole storyline kind of muddled a little bit. As you know, it was very simple. Oh, here's the story. She comes back. She cursed this guy. She needs to get a dagger, kill him, and then okay, it wasn't much more to it. Besides that, so when he finally at the end becomes like, you know, sticks himself with the dagger, I'm thinking, okay, is he set now, or is he the new Mummy? Because then he took, you know, as soon as he got his powers, he face kissed her, sucked her energy out, and that was it. And then she's crumbled up, and they put her in a sealed sarcophagus with mercury. So I'm thinking, well, is she still alive or what? It looks like she's dead. She's finished, but they're sealing her up so like she don't come back. So my question is she still the Mummy, or is Tom Cruise character the Mummy now? Because they said he's cursed and he has the power to bring people back to life, I guess. I didn't know the Mummy could do that, if that's what he is, or is he something else, a demon set. He really didn't explain too much about who he is. I assume he's the Mummy. An actor like Tom Cruise, I'm assuming he's the Mummy, but you know, maybe the other lady, you know, the original Mummy herself, maybe she's still the Mummy. She just is powerless right now. I don't know. That was very confusing. So I'm thinking he's the Mummy going forward, and he's just hanging out in the desert in the pyramids and stuff. I don't know, but not sure what his powers are besides sucking other people's energy, and maybe control the wind and insects, and apparently rats. They can control rats and everything. So a lot of the same powers that you know, Dracula has. I wasn't very overwhelmed by the Mummy at all. Definitely the 1999 version had better effects and better powers. I mean, that Mummy you felt like could take over the world. He was a real threat. You know, disappearing, controlling people, bringing plagues. So a lot more, to me, a lot more devastating Mummy as far as powers versus this Mummy. So that was my, you know, basic issue. It was kind of bland. I was kind of losing interest during the movie, but I kind of stayed with it because I wanted to see how this ended, and did this lead into another movie. Now let's talk also about Dr. Jekyll. Okay, I like Russell Crowe. I like his performance. Thought he did a good job, but they had the scene where, you know, he was taking these injections, you know, and like, okay, now my understanding is the injections turns you into Jekyll, not keeps you from turning into Jekyll, you know. So apparently in this one he must inject himself periodically, basically, to not become Jekyll. Okay, that's fine, but if that's the case, my goodness, you better have an alarm clock or a buzzer or your cell phone going off to remind you, because apparently he's cut it at the last, you know, waiting to the last second to inject himself. And then of course in that scene with Tom Cruise takes the serum and he's, you know, turns into Jekyll, and the guys with them, you know, they run out and they lock the door behind this super strong door. I'm like, okay, this guy must turn into something hideous and dangerous for that kind of security and that thick of a door. And then all of a sudden all you see is, okay, they change his eyes, put a little more hair on his hands, and he talked a little differently. I was like, this is Jekyll? I wasn't impressed at all. And yeah, he was stronger. I mean, took the chair and threw it to the side, but I was not impressed at all. I'm like, they didn't even make him, I know, they didn't do any CG or anything. I mean, that's fine if you don't do no practical effects, but make his face look more horrifying, make him look more menacing. I wasn't impressed with him at all. I'm like, okay, this is Jekyll? Well, this guy, I mean, heck, they got a couple of these guys down at the mental hospital down the street who could be Jekyll the way he looked and was acting and stuff. You know, I wasn't really, you know, impressed with who Jekyll was. But they'll get it more to him because obviously the organization, the Prodigium, I think I got it right this time, is going to be around and be the centerpiece of this whole thing. So I'm not sure what movie's up next, but you know, obviously they've set that up, and you know, it was kind of cool to see him go to the museum in the beginning of the first act, and you see the, you know, hand of the creature of Black Lagoon. I'm like, okay, that's cool. You see, you know, a vampire skull. You saw something else in the case. I'm not sure what it was, but some kind of shroud or something. But that was kind of cool to see that. So they're saying they're finding these artifacts. I don't think they came across these things, so to speak. So these creatures, or they've just found things. Who knows? But I was expecting a lot more though. But you know, it's fine. You know, it's the first one. I just thought it did not hit out the park like you would think the beginning movie of a universe would do. So, you know, much like Iron Man did in Man of Steel, I thought did a great job of launching those two universes. And The Mummy just kind of left me flat. So, you know, again, I'm going to give it a C, maybe a C+. I'll give it a C+, because there were some cool visual effects, and the acting was good. But I just thought the storyline was kind of bland, and the creatures themselves were just, you know, underwhelming to me, you know. So tell me your thoughts about if you saw The Mummy, what you think, and did you like it or didn't like it, and what problems you have with it. I'm interested to see what the next movie they do with the universe, but I hope they do a much better job and learn from this movie with the storyline and some of the effects. I don't care if it's practical effects. Let's make it more menacing. If you're going to make this a horror genre, it's a, you know, dark universe, make it a little better than what they presented with The Mummy. So I'm LR Reactor. You can send your comments to my Twitter, Facebook, or my Gmail account at readytoreactnow@gmail.com. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.